I found this to be a really amazing article. It's like one of those things that you know, but you just can't articulate. And once you see it in a written format, it makes you understand the world a lot better, makes it a lot easier to debate on the internet. And this is written by a gentleman of the name Roach. I will put the article into the pinned comment so you guys can check it out. Now, he notices that the left likes to manipulate language. Like, they're experts at doing this. And most of the times they will use euphemisms for some things. Like, for example, they used to use the word youth, right? So when the media would say some youth committed a crime, like, people would know what that means. And once a lot of people understand the new euphemism, they use a different one. And this article analyzes the word problematic. Now, they point out that the word problematic initially was offensive. So when something was deemed offensive, it means it needs to be censored. It needs to be removed. It also means that the speaker doesn't have to articulate on how something is offensive. Because offense is something that's subjective. It cannot be objectively demonstrated. So just by claiming that something is offensive, like, you can't argue with it. You can't question it. You just have to get rid of it. Otherwise, leftists will come after you. But with time, most people have started making arguments and explaining. It's like, okay, so what if it's offensive? Like, maybe art should be offensive. Maybe it's a good thing that it's offensive. And even the left itself started being offensive on purpose. Like, there are academic literatures that justify that activists need to become offensive. So, as time moves on, the word loses its meaning, and then they switch to another word, which is problematic. And if you think about it, offensive and problematic actually work interchangeably. You can replace these words and they serve the exact same purpose. Like, if something is problematic, it doesn't require any more debate. You don't need to explain why it's problematic. You just need to ban it. You just need to censor it. However, this word lost its meaning as well, to the point where when someone even brought up that something is problematic, they would be laughed and ridiculed by normal people. It's like, oh, so you're like one of those woke fringe fanatics, right? Like, just shut the fuck up, I don't care. And now that word is dangerous, right? So you can see how things evolve. Like from offensive to problematic to dangerous, like, the words just go from one to another as they're losing their meaning. And you can see now, like, if you replace dangerous with offensive or problematic, it makes sense. Like, here you have Robert Reich. Elon Musk and his enablers have turned this website into a torrent of ad hominem attacks, lies floated as jokes, and blatant misinformation. This isn't freedom of speech. It's just offensive, or it's just problematic. The richest man in the world uses billions to buy a platform so he could troll history's most obnoxious and dangerous right-wing troll. Elon is making a great case for why we should tax the hell out of billionaires. So if you replace dangerous here, history's most obnoxious and offensive right-wing troll. History's most obnoxious and problematic right-wing. You see how the words are interchangeable? And how you can literally use the other ones, and all of a sudden it makes more sense, because dangerous doesn't really make sense, right? Like, how is it dangerous that Elon Musk has a keyboard and can do clickety-clack? That's not what they're saying. What they're saying is that it offends them, right? What they're saying is that it's problematic. What they're saying is that it needs to be censored and it needs to be gone. Now, the use of the word dangerous is actually more powerful than offensive or problematic, because, as the article points out, if a friend of yours tells you, this place is dangerous, like, you need to have your guard up. You don't really start, questioning or having a debate. Like, you're in danger. Like, if you trust your friend, right? Like, if it's someone you trust, it's like, okay, well, I'm in danger now. So your senses are heightened. All of a sudden, you're a lot more careful. Like, you're taking this seriously. That person is dangerous. Oh, well, it means you need to avoid them. You don't want to talk with them because they're dangerous, right? So this is why they use the word dangerous. And of course, if you're in danger, then you need help. Like, someone needs to help you. Someone strong, right? The government, the activists, corporations, the banks, the advertisers, they need to pull off Twitter. The banks, the politicians, the Democrats, maybe they can pass a law to seize the wealth of Elon Musk or to break Twitter apart, right? Like, this is how they think. And this is why the word dangerous is very powerful. Now, the article suggests that a word that's going to be in the future is violent, right? Because violent is even more powerful of a word. So violent, it means that you're now justified to use violence against it. So if something that's not violent is deemed as violent, then you are justified to use any means in order to stop it. So for example, misgendering people is violent, right? What they're actually saying is that misgendering people is offensive, or misgendering people is problematic, or misgendering people is dangerous. But what they're actually going to say, if they say misgendering people is violent, it means that they can actually use actual violence against the person as a means of self-defense. I have seen this justification happen with several far-left extremists on Twitter, especially during the Floyd protests, where they will say, well, if you support the police, that's violence, which means that anything done against you is justifiable. Literally anything, right? Because it's self-defense. In fact, there were a couple of Antifa people arrested that actually tried to use self-defense as justification for damaging property and destroying people's cars and shit. So it's something that already existed, but I guess like the person who wrote the article is trying to say that it may become more mainstream. And yeah, like, it is absurd because these words, they hold double meaning. Like, what they actually mean is the same thing, right? What they're saying, it's like, it's offensive, get rid of it, cancel it. You know, they're literally advocating to burn the book. That's what they're saying. Like, this information is problematic. We need to prevent the public from having access to it. But they need to speak it in a way that doesn't make them sound like Nazis. Right? Because only authoritarian Nazis want to prevent knowledge, right? Like, they're the most renowned political group that has tried to prevent the knowledge from spreading. So they can't really say that, and they need to come up with various euphemisms that people from their side understand what it is, but at the same time, the general public also tries to get concerned about the problem that they don't really care about, but they're being used as useful idiots, right? So the word dangerous is fitting a perfect spot for that. And whenever you see it online, whenever you see someone using the word dangerous to something that's not, treat it the same way that you saw the word problematic, and more importantly, call them on it. It's like, oh, so you're not saying it's dangerous, you're saying it's problematic. And then more people are going to catch on because the word problematic is toxic, right? Like, they made it toxic. Because, like, everything was fucking problematic. And it's funny because, like, they can't explain why it's problematic, which is why they use the word. Well, what they say is like, I don't like it, it offends me, get rid of it, right? So anyway, let me know what you guys think. And again, the link to this article is going to be into the pinned comment. And next to it, there's going to be a more important link, according to moi, also subjective, a link to my Subscribe Star. And if you like my channel, please consider contributing, and you will get buyer's remorse in return. Like, even if you give like $5, that's instant buyer's remorse. I know it's just $5, but you'll regret it. You'll be like, why did I give my money to this Romanian? What am I getting in return? Nothing. And you'll be sad. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.